الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. هذه مادة اللغة الإنجليزية للمستوى الثالث في قسم الدعوة والاحتساب، وكذلك هي مادة اللغة الإنجليزية بالنسبة للمستوى السادس في قسم الشريعة، وهي طلاب وطالبات الانتظام أو طالبات الانتساب المطور، عفوا طالبات الانتساب المطور. وهذه هي الحلقة 20 وهي الحلقة الأخيرة لهذه المادة، هي الحلقة الأخيرة لهذه المادة. وإن شاء الله إذا كان في أي أسئلة أو استفسارات سوف نلتقي عن طريق الأونلاين أثناء الدراسة، وإن شاء الله المجال مفتوح للأسئلة والاستفسارات ولأي كلمات ولأي شيء. وأرجو من الجميع محاولة معرفة يعني دراسة المنهج كاملا والرجوع إلى القاموس بشكل كبير، والرجوع إلى معرفة يعني المنهج بشكل أكبر. وإذا استصعب أي أمر ممكن أثناء اللقاء نتناقش بها. أما أن يأتي الشخص بدون تحضير أو بدون دراسة فمعنى ذلك أنه سيبدأ من جديد ولن يستفيد بشكل كبير، لأن اللقاءات سوف تكون قصيرة ولن يكون في وقت للإجابة على جميع الأسئلة. فلذلك أطلب من الجميع أن يراجعوا الكتاب كاملا ويقرأوا جميع القطع ويراجعوا جميع القواعد وجميع الكلمات وتشيك على القاموس دائما وأبدا. وإذا كان فيه بقى أمر صعب أو كذا ممكن نتناقش إن شاء الله في أثناء الأونلاين ميتينجز. الآن الحلقة الأخيرة عنوانها نتكويت. طبعا هذا في كتاب Writing Activity Book هو الحلقة الأخيرة. Open your book page 30. Netiquette theme network etiquette. Pre-writing, making a tree diagram, organizing, giving examples, revising, developing a paragraph unity using verbs plus gerunds and infinitive, editing using commas or colons. Pre-writing, making a tree diagram. A tree diagram helps connect ideas to a main topic, the way branches of a tree connect to its trunk. So page 31, look at the following tree diagram about the advantages and disadvantages of email. Email represents the trunk or the main topic. One branch shows the advantages and the other branch shows the disadvantages. So we have email here, and then we have advantages and disadvantages. So advantages, we have convenient, saves time, easy to stay in touch. So we have one example for convenient. We have send any time of day or night. Saves time, arrives immediately. Easy to stay in touch, write to friends easily. So can you think of other advantages for each one? For convenient, we have one advantage which is send any time of a day or night. I think for me one convenient advantage about email, it's free of charge. What about saves time? Arrives immediately. What about another advantages of email, which is connected to saves time? I think you can check your email anytime. You check it anytime. If you are busy now, you check it another time. So this will save your time. So if you are not busy, you can check your email. Another advantage, easy to stay in touch, write to friends easily. What else? You can read anytime. You can read your email anytime. This is very good advantage, and it's easy to stay in touch, so you can read the email anytime. So let's move now to the disadvantages. You have the disadvantages: less personal, easy to make a mistake, need equipment. So less personal, can't see the person's face, right? Also, less personal, cannot feel the person. You cannot see his impression. You cannot see his, feel his impression. Easy to make a mistake. Send message to the wrong person. This is easy to make a mistake. Also, maybe you use the wrong subject. Sometimes you the wrong subject, or maybe you use wrong spelling. And another one, need equipment. Fast computer maybe, and also you need fast internet. Nowadays, if you don't have fast internet, you will have problems with this email. So this is another disadvantages. So we have here maybe 6 advantages and 6 disadvantages of using the email, and some of them are related to convenient and saves time and easy to stay in touch and less personal, easy to make a mistake and need equipment. So all these are related or advantages and disadvantages of using email. Let's move now to number 2, page 31. page 31. Here are some more advantages and disadvantages of email. Add information to the tree diagram. Can't hear a person's tone of voice. Can't hear a person's tone of voice. Also, this is maybe, for easy to stay in touch. Cheaper than a phone call. This is also another advantage. Computer modem to connect to the internet. This is need equipment. This is a disadvantage. Fast answers to message. This is, of course, advantage. Send private information by mistake. Also, this is another disadvantage. Write to several people at the same time. This is another advantage. So those are some advantages and disadvantages we might have from the use of the email. Now let's move to number 3, page 31, please. Choose one technology to write about: email, internet, pagers, mobile phones, instant messaging, etc. Make a tree diagram like the examples above. Show the advantages and disadvantages of the technology. Give examples to illustrate each advantage and disadvantage. So try to make a tree like the one we have here in page 31 and choose one technology like from here, whether it's email or the internet or, the email we have it already. So just try to use the internet or mobile phones or instant messaging and try to write some, advantages and some disadvantages for about each one of them. Let's now just do this one as a homework, please. Let's now move to page 32. Organizing. Giving examples. To illustrate the advantages and disadvantages of email, you need to give examples. Your examples will be effective if they are placed directly after the statements they illustrate and if they include specific details. Work with a partner. Read the statements below. Check yes, the specific details that go with the statement. So we have a statement here, and we'll choose one statement that goes with that one. Number 1, email is very convenient. You can send it any time of day or night. So can we choose? You can work when everyone is sleeping. You don't need stamps. You can work when you have time. Which one you think is the best, which support this statement? I think the last one. You can work when you have time. So number 2, you need special equipment. Which one you think is good for this one? You need a computer. You can't hear the person's voice. You need to have an internet service provider. I think the first one is the best choice. So you need a computer. Number 2, complete a paragraph on page 33 with the appropriate sentences that give examples. Choose from the sentences in the box. So let's just take one example or two. There are advantages and disadvantages to using email. One advantage is that email is very fast. Okay? So just give example. I think the best example here, just please try to read them. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 statements. Just read them one by one and see which one supports the sentence here. So we have here, one advantage is that email is very fast. So he's talking about the advantage of the fast email. So which one, supports this statement here? I think the first one. I often get an immediate reply. I often get an immediate reply. This is, we can use it here. Next one. It is also a good way to stay in touch with family and friends. So we're talking about good touch with or communication with the family and friends. So which one which one of those supports this statement here? I think that maybe the last one. I know people who live in many parts of the world, and I can send email to all of them. To all of them. Okay. The next one. One disadvantage of email is that it is easy to make mistake. Which one you think from those statements support this one, the sentence here? I think you can choose the wrong email address if you are not careful and send the email to the wrong person. This is a disadvantage of email. The last one, of course, in addition, email is less personal than a phone call. So you just choose. You can't hear a person's tone of voice in email. So this exercise. I think it's very easy if you know the meaning of each word. If you know how to use this sentence, it's very easy for you and for everybody who wants to learn English. I think if you learn these words, they are easy and they are very common words in English, and therefore you have to understand and to know their meanings and their definitions, and you should be able to give examples and to use them in a sentence. Okay, so now let's now move to page 34, please. Page 34. Revising. Developing paragraph unity. Paragraph has unity when all the supporting sentences are connected to the topic sentence. None of the supporting sentences are about other topics, of course. Each paragraph should mention advantages and disadvantages of one technology. Read the topic sentence, look at the list of advantages and disadvantages, cross out the two sentences that don't support the topic sentence. Topic sentence. Email has advantages and disadvantages. So this is the topic sentence. Advantages. You can send an email message at any time. Computers are very useful. Email is very fast. Disadvantages. Long distance telephone calls are expensive. You can send an email message to the wrong person by mistake. You need a computer to use email. Okay? The topic again is email has advantages and disadvantages. So every topic, every sentence should be related to this topic sentence. So let's read the following paragraph and complete the task below. Page 35, please. We have, you can read this one. Two-way text pages have advantages and disadvantages. So you can read this one and take one by one. So let's do the assignment here. Number one, circle the topic sentence. What is the topic sentence of this paragraph? Two-way text pages have advantages and disadvantages. So this is the topic sentence. Underline the sentences stating the two advantages and two disadvantages. I think, one of the advantage, many of my friends have them, so we can stay in touch all the day. However, my mother doesn't have one, so I have to call her on the telephone. Another advantage, so that one advantage is that they are convenient. The first advantage, they are convenient, and the other advantage, they are quiet. So these are the advantages of the text pages. Two-way text pages have advantages and disadvantages. So the disadvantages, we have two also. One disadvantage of the two-way text pages is that the keys are very small, and also the other disadvantage also, the print is small. The print is small. This is the way how to write it. You have a topic sentence, and then we have different statements or sentences, and they should be related to the topic sentence. Using verbs plus gerunds and infinitives. Complete Unit 5. Some verbs are followed by gerund and some are followed by an infinitive. Example, I like to use email. I enjoy getting a lot of email every day. Okay? So complete the sentences below with phrases from the box. Use the infinitive or gerund as appropriate. There is more than one correct answers. Okay? Number one, some people don't like what? Remember that we said like, we can say which one we choose. Some people don't like to maybe receive spam emails, of course. Some people don't like to receive spam emails. Number two, many people want to learn to use email. Many people want to learn to use email. Number three, I enjoy getting lots of email from friends. Many people stop maybe writing letters when they start using emails. So just do the number 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 as homework. This is very clear. Just try to go and check the rules and directions of how to use gerunds, infinitive, or both, and try to match between the questions here. We have 8 questions, and we have 8 options here. Just to match between them and try to use gerunds, infinitive, or both, or one of them. Now let's move to editing. Editing, page 37, please. Editing, using commas or colons. Complete Unit 5, Section 4A in the student book before you begin this section. We already did that. Look at the use of commas and colons. Use commas to separate parts of a sentence. Of course, commas are used to separate parts of a sentence, always. So just notice this example here. I have a mobile phone, comma, but I don't have a two-way text pager. So we have a comma here just to separate parts of one sentence. Also, commas to separate 3 or more items in a list. So, sending email is convenient, comma, fast and inexpensive. So we have here 3 points here. So we have comma after convenient, and after fast, and then we always have these commas just after this type of sentences. With numbers larger than 999. So a good computer costs more than 1,000, 000. So we use it with numbers. We use commas with numbers. Use a colon. So we just saw different types or different examples which show how to use commas with different examples and different statements here. Let's now move to a colon. Use a colon to introduce a list. So a colon is used to introduce a list. There are many things to do on the internet. Colon, send email, comma, find information on the web, comma, or download music. So you can see here we have colon and we have commas. Just one sentence we have colon and we have commas. So the colon is to introduce a list. We have a list here of 3 things like send email, find information on the web, and download music. So we have colon, and then after each one we have a comma. So now let's move to exercise number 2, page 37, please. Page 37. Put a comma or colon where necessary in these sentences. Email has several disadvantages. It takes too much time. It is not personal, and there are too many misunderstandings. So how can we use commas or colon? We might say email has several disadvantages, colon, 2 dots, colon, it takes too much time, comma, it is not personal, comma, and there are too many misunderstandings. So this is how to use colon and commas. Number 2, my sister, mother, and brother all use mobile phones. You might say my sister, comma, mother and brother. So say my sister, comma, mother, comma, and brother, comma, all use mobile phones. So we use comma after each one. Number 3, pagers are fast, comma, easy, comma, and fun to use. Number 4, I like to stay up late, comma, listen to music, comma, and answer all my email. So we have, in this exercise, we studied how to use colon and comma. Colon is used to introduce a list, and comma is to separate parts of a sentence, and also to separate 3 or more items in the list, and also with numbers, larger than 999. So these are the different ways or examples of using colon and commas. Now let's move to the last part of this, of today's lesson. Today's lesson, this is the last part, page 38, please. Page 38, preparing the final draft. Carefully edit your second draft. Use the checklist below as a guide. Then neatly write or type your paragraph with the corrections. Final draft checklist. Always, when you write something, try to use this checklist. Number 1, do you describe the advantages and disadvantages of a technology used for communication? Always describe the disadvantage and disadvantages of a technology used for communication. You remember we asked you to write anything about one technology, whether internet, email, or messaging, or your mobile, and then you have to write advantages and disadvantages. Number 2, do you use examples with specific details to illustrate the advantages and disadvantages? Always give more examples, more examples and with specific details that will make your idea clearer and clearer. So always try to give and provide examples. Number 3, do you have paragraph unity? Do all the sentences support the topic sentence? Of course, all the sentences should support the topic sentence. In this way, it will be united paragraph. Number 4, are gerunds and infinitive used correctly? If you have gerunds or infinitive, you have to use them correctly, and you have the rules here. So go and check the rules and try to use them the right way. Last one, are commas and colons used correctly? Always try to use the commas and colons are correctly. And remember, always try to make sure that you understand the whole lesson, the whole grammar, and understand the meaning of words, and the style, and how to write words, and how the meaning of words, how to use them in examples. If you have any problems, we can talk about them when we meet, inshallah, online later on. And that way, it will be easy for you, inshallah. But don't worry, it's very easy. I think this course is not difficult. I think it's easy, but I'm trying to use in English just to make sure that you understand everything. And because this is an English course, so I have to speak in English. If I speak in Arabic, that makes it not, it will make it not no English. So please try to study your course very hard, and we will meet inshallah online. If you have any questions, just try to ask them when we meet online. وفي ختام هذه الحلقة، خصوصا آخر حلقة إن شاء الله في هذا المادة، أذكر الأخوة جميعا بمذاكرة جميع الدروس أول بأول، وخصوصا الرجوع إلى القاموس باللغة الإنجليزية، من اللغة بالإنجليزي إلى الإنجليزي، وليس استخدام إنجليزي عربي، لأن بالشكل هذا ما تستفيد الشكل المطلوب. فأرجو من الجميع تشييك القواميس الإنجليزي إنجليزي، وتشييك القواعد الموجودة في الكتابين، وقراءة السي دي اللي موجود. وبعد ذلك إذا كان في أي أمر صعب إن شاء الله أثناء لقاءاتنا بالأونلاين إن شاء الله ممكن تسأل أي سؤال صعب أو فقرة غير واضحة، ممكن إن شاء الله يعني نتناقش فيها في ذاك الوقت. وفي الختام أشكر الجميع، والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.